Hello there. Why are they closing our pubs down? There is a steady drip, drip, drip of pub closures, and importantly, there has been for many, many years. It's almost as if governments want to legislate and tax them out of existence. And no, it's not about reducing alcohol consumption, as I'll come on to and explain. So why shut pubs down? Pubs are a great meeting place where people can get together and relax with mates after a hard day at work over a pint or three and discuss the great issues of the day. People can meet and debate ideas while having some convivial fun in the process. A game of darts or a game of pool maybe. They might also get exposed to new concepts or a different way of looking at some issues. And maybe that's the problem. People getting together and encountering new ideas they would not otherwise have come across. Ideas from outside their censored social media echo chambers. Ideas from outside the two main narratives being pushed on a national and wider international basis. Oh, I get the health angle, I really do. Shut pubs down and less drinking will take place, or so they say. And then there's the post-evening driving bit to consider too. But if the gradual shutting down of the pub industry was all about health, the price of wines, beers and spirits in the supermarkets would be taxed ever higher to make them prohibitively expensive. But they're not. Now you may not think that pubs are closing down in any great numbers. But here's some stats for you. But first, you have to consider the backdrop. Since the year 2000, the UK population has increased by some 16%, or about 9.5 million people, according to official statistics, that is. But according to the House of Commons Library, between 2000 and 2019, the number of pubs has declined by 13,900, or 22%. Yes, 22% in the first 19 years of this millennium, while the population numbers rocketed. And in the second decade of the millennium, between 2010 and 2020, 15% of pubs closed for good. The House of Commons Library also says, in 2019, according to the British Beer and Pub Association, the BBPA, there were 47,200 public houses in the UK. 23,400 of these pubs were independent. 13,900 are owned by pub companies, and 9,900 were owned by breweries. So overall, a long-term decline across Labour and Conservative tenures in government. Although there was some consolidation going on, with places like London seeing a very small increase of just over 1% in pub numbers in the year 2019 to 2020. Now, the number of people employed in the pub trade actually increased by 1%, despite the fall in the number of venues available to work in. But this is only within the larger venues, possibly because they had to take the route of offering sit-down meals to stay profitable. But smaller venues, employing fewer than 10 people, have seen a 41% decline in employment. It looks to me like the supermarkets and corporates are squeezing the little guys out of the market, kicking the little snugs and the village pubs out of the way. And as I pointed out, it's not a short-term blip, it's been going on for decades. That would make it part of a long-term government policy, both Labour and Tory. Now, the latest data from real estate advisor, the Altus Group, shows that another 444 pubs fell off the list of pubs in just England and Wales this year, 2021. That leaves England and Wales with a tad over 40,000 pubs. And it also says that 2,277 pubs have disappeared in the last 4 years. Now, interestingly, it may be that the recent furlough and other pandemic support packages over the last 18 months might have kept some failing pubs afloat in the short term. But the report suggests to me that it may well not be enough to stop another tranche of closures next year. And it also looks to me like starting out as a pub owner is going to get harder and harder as time goes on. So where will the entrepreneurs come from? The only people able to get their foot in the door will in the future be the already wealthy. And we need fresh thinking, not another celebrity restaurant. And the plight of the hospitality sector overall is not helped by the approximately 20% of punters who ordered Christmas lunches this year but didn't warn that they would not be bothering to turn up. The punters may have lost their deposits, but the venues lost a lot more than that. So where's the support for the village pubs? The start-ups? Where's the tax breaks to keep them viable, open and offering local employment? No, pubs are closing and only the big concerns seem to be profiting. And governments over the last 2 decades and more know this. They know the figures. And whatever tax, employment or other laws the government has put in place over at least 2 decades has not worked in keeping the trade truly alive. So one can only assume it is a cross-party consensus policy to strangle the pub trade bit by bit, year by year. But why? To stop like-minded people getting together to talk about current affairs? And unlike on social media, not be overheard, not be monitored, and not be able to be censored? Now, a few websites that monitor alcohol consumption in the UK report that people say they are drinking less now than they used to, especially among the younger generation. And that might go some way to explaining the pub closures. But that's what people say when they're asked about how much they drink. And they all know the recommended maximum daily intake, don't they? But actual sales figures do not lie. According to Statista.com, between 2019 and 2020, alcohol beverage sales in the UK rose by £4 billion, from 20.5 billion to 24.8 billion. That's roughly 20% more. But that just might be supermarket sales during the pandemic. But in the years 2005 to 2019, it says there was a steady overall rise of about 20% in alcohol beverage purchases. And from 2005 to 2019, the UK population only grew by 10.5%, half the growth of alcohol purchases. So a lot of people appear to be telling porkies about how much they really drink. So as far as I'm concerned, taking all this into consideration, pub closures don't appear to be down to government health measures regarding alcohol consumption. Because sales are up, and the big boys are filling their boots and the taxes are topping up the government coffers. No, the target appears to be the smaller, usually more characterful venue. And the question is, why? So what's your opinion on pubs closing down? Please like and comment below. Please subscribe and like this video, buy a mug and support me on Patreon or PayPal, and thank you for watching.